Hello, hello, hello. How are you guys doing today? Happy Monday. Well, there's snow on the ground. It is, did I bring my phone out here? It is very, very cold in Indianapolis. Last night we had to open our kitchen cabinets because they are right here, which is the outside wall. And they put out an email to the neighborhood that said, make sure that if your faucets are on an outside wall, that you keep your cabinets open. And I got in bed to take my nap, and I told Alex, I said, oh my God, I didn't even think he'd know what I was talking about. I said, I didn't leave the kitchen cabinets open. And he goes, they're going to freeze up. I was like, how did you even know? He goes, I got the email too. Anyway, my husband just got home. So he got home earlier today. So he has like once a month this like long meeting. It's like everybody from every office. And it starts at like 7 o'clock. And then he usually gets done by like 3 or 4. So we got done like at 3:30 today. And he came home. And we were texting back and forth. The World Championship of, is it basketball? The World Championship of college football is tonight, if you didn't know. Not the World Championship. It's just, anyway. I have everything. I came out here earlier. I was taking the dogs out. It's colder out there than it is out here. And so yesterday I sat out here in my long underwear. And then can I just tell you that I have my sweatpants on. And then Alex laughs because now I like, with my sweatpants, if I have a t-shirt on with them, I tuck them in. He goes, why do you tuck your t-shirts on into your sweatpants? I go, I don't know. I just like it. It's just comfortable. It doesn't like ride up then. But anyway, these are like the Abercrombie sweatpants, and they're kind of a little baggy on me. So the long underwear shirt, which was a fantastic idea. Whoever suggested that I wear it, I don't know why I walk with them. I don't know why I didn't think to wear them during my vlogs. It was a fantastic idea. But anyway, last night, after I got back from my walk and stuff, which was not long, I just had my long underwear tucked into these sweatpants, and I like took off my like walking pants and I put these sweatpants on. This was before I took a shower and stuff, and I was just walking around in this like skin tight shirt and these like baggy. Alex goes, he goes, you look like you're like a hip hop dancer or something at 53 years old. But anyway, so Alex came up. We were texting. The big World Championship of football is tonight. Who does IU play? Oh, Miami. They play at Miami. So that's tonight. Everybody in Indiana, of course, is a huge IU fan, except for me. I mean, I guess, if I had to be a fan of somebody, I guess I would be an IU fan. Hold on, let me zip this up. So I have on what I had on last night, the North. This is actually really warm. And I brought the blanket out today. So I feel like I'm completely set for warmness of the world. Okay, and my lighters inside and outside don't work anymore, so we brought the power lighter today. We brought the blowtorch, which sometimes, look, it's like, I bought a pack of these like a year ago, and I hardly ever use them because I like the little lighters for candle things and stuff. Alex was like, you didn't have a fire this weekend? I said, no, I'm saving it for next weekend. He goes, you could have had a fire this weekend and next weekend. I go, I know, I'm saving it for next weekend. We're supposed to have like this horrible winter storm and ice storm and stuff. I'm like, because he'll be in Florida, right? So I'm just dreaming that I'll get like, I don't leave, so it's not going to really matter if I get snowed in. You know what I mean? Like, it'll just be me and the dogs like any other day, but we'll be snowed in. So this week, I'm going to buy more of the Duraflame logs and more firewood in case we get snowed in and there's apocalypse, and then I just have to make fires all the time. But anyway, before this lighter doesn't work anymore, so let me tell you what happens with these, okay? They're like too strong, and I know you can turn them down, but they sometimes don't. Like this one lit, I'm kind of surprised, but sometimes they don't. Oh shoot, you know what I did not bring? I had them sitting out there too. Oh no, I did bring them. I brought them. I put them out here earlier. Oh, I forgot. I brought my blanket and Alex's gloves out here. Okay. Oh wait, I gotta trim this wick. That's how you trim a wick. Okay. Woo, we lit it. Okay. So that actually worked pretty well. Inside it doesn't always work so well. Do you guys like those Goose Creek candles? So I bought a bunch of them, like Christmas scents. I like the scents. I just don't so a cold throw, if you're a candle reviewer of the world, a cold throw is like if you just open it cold, what it smells like, and a hot throw is if it's lit. I think the cold throw on the Goose Creek candles is fantastic. I think the hot throw, I don't feel like there's any scent when they burn at all. And they get to about this far, and then they just kind of stop doing anything. I don't know which one I had last night. It was like Christmas cookies or something. I've been like burning it for a week, and I swear to God, I don't think it smells at all. And I've been like reducing my wax melts that I use. I used to use 4 wax, like little squares, and now I use 2. And I feel like it puts off a stronger, I know when I say this, people will be like, did you not know that? I feel like it puts off a stronger scent in the wax melt if I have less wax melts in it. Last night I used these like mandarin orange ones that I bought that I said was like kind of a summer scent. But I'd already opened the package like a week ago, and so I used them last night, and like the whole downstairs smelled like citrus in winter. It was just fantastic. Anyway, it was just fantastic. It was just fantastic. Anyway, so Alex came home earlier. We were texting. All of his friends, like the group that we went to on New Year's, they're going to like the Fisher's Event Center or something. Carmel Event Center. I don't know. But they're like showing the IU game there. It's like you're there, but you're not there. Do you know what I mean? Anyway, so they're all going to that. But they were meeting up at this bar that they all go to, which is called H3 Tavern. I love the food there, by the way. So he came home, and because we were texting, I was like, are you going to go? And he was like, well, they're not going over there till 7. I think the game starts at 7 or 7:30. And he's like, they're not going over there till like 6:45, 7. And he's like, so no, I'm going to come home. He's like, if I decide to go, I might go later. He goes, but it's too cold. He doesn't really care about the football. Like, I don't either. So he's an IU fan. I mean, he went to IU. He wore his IU sweatshirt today. But anyway, to work, he wore like this little red, it would look so cute on him. He had like a little polo shirt underneath it. And then he wore like his red, like zip up, you know, like track suit, like all red and white, like it had like the IU thing on it. Anyway, because they were supposed to wear IU stuff today. Anyway, what was I going to say? Oh, so he came home and like he texted me and he was, because he'll text me like when he's in the driveway if I'm filming, and he'll be like, can I come in? And I had just finished my bark box review of the dogs. And so I texted him, I was like, yeah, you can come in. Well, he kept on sitting out in the driveway. So I came downstairs and I wanted to wait for him to come in for me to take the dogs out. So I was sitting at the computer and he wasn't coming in, and I texted him and I was like, are you coming in? And he was like, I'm waiting. He was like, because they want us to come back because something to do with the meeting that they had, and they needed to like go over something. And they thought that everybody was coming back to like one of the offices to talk about it, but nobody knew about it or something like that. I don't know. He was like, they mentioned something about it. He was like, but we thought it was tomorrow. Like he and his friend that live over here. So I said, are you going to come in until you find out? So he came in and he was like, okay, I have to go back to the office for a little bit. And I said, okay. He's like, well, this is perfect. Then he's like, so you can fit, because at that point I only had like 3 videos left to film. And he's like, this is perfect because I can just run over there real quick. It's just going to be like a half an hour. And when I'm done. So he went over there. And then he texted me and he was like, I'm leaving. He was like, are you done with your videos? I said, yeah, all I've got to do is vlog. Well, at this point, it was like 5:15 or something like that. I was like, I'm going to be outside vlogging so early today. Let's do the time and temperature check. It is currently 7:01 p.m., okay? And the temperature outside, there was like this freeze warning and everything. Is there still one going on? Probably not. Come on, Weather Channel, load up. The Weather Channel is like Goodreads. It like just buffers and buffers and buffers. Oh, there is a warning. It's 11 degrees outside. It says it feels like chance of snow 0. 0 inches expected. Feels like -1. Cold weather advisory. I'm going to say about the cabinets. I can't forget about the cabinets. What is this? It's just like buffering. Cold weather advisory remains in effect until 9 a.m. Tuesday. Very cold wind chills as low as 12 below 0. Portions of central. Okay. The cold wind chills as low as 10 below 0 could result in hypothermia if precautions are not taken. You know, make sure your pets are inside too. I don't leave the dogs out for very long, but to be honest with you, they don't want to stay out for very long. I bring them out like the last couple days when it's been really cold. I brought them out and then they're like ready to go right back inside. Like we're literally outside. Like usually I like it maybe 4 to 5 minutes, but the last couple days, like I'll bring them outside. They do their business real quick. Like, I mean, they are ready to go back inside. I'm all cozied up and everything. Okay, so what was I going to say? So he went back, and then I was sitting at the computer, so I filmed on every one of my channels today. I was so excited. Well, I don't really know what my filming schedule is going to be like tomorrow. I have this dentist appointment tomorrow afternoon, early afternoon. I'm so not looking forward to this dentist appointment. My dental hygienist is fantastic. I love her. It's going to be a deep cleaning, but I haven't been there in so long. I have a feeling what she'll do is she'll say, since you haven't been here so long, we're just going to do like a cleaning, and then you're going to have to schedule something like in a month to come back and do a deep cleaning. I think that's what she's going to say, which, to be honest with you, that is completely fine for me. I would rather just do, I almost like today, this is who I was back in the day, and I cannot resort back to this. I almost today was like, I'm going to reschedule the appointment. Did I spill this coffee? I almost was like, I'm going to reschedule this appointment for like until we get back from Ultra. I can't do that. That's how I ended up not going to the dentist for so long, right? And why I ended up having periodontal disease. I don't like, it's weird because I think if I had to vocalize it to somebody, I'd say like, have a fear of the dentist. Like, I don't like the pain. I can handle that. It's none of that kind of stuff that really bothers me. She numbs up my gums and stuff with like that, I don't know, it's the stuff you put it on with like a what do you call it? A Q-tip. You know, she puts it around the gums and stuff like that. When I had deep cleanings originally a couple years ago, like my very first one, they had to give me shots for that to numb it up. The pain isn't, like, I can handle the pain. I have a high threshold for pain. I know that probably surprises people, but I really do. But it's not like I'm somebody that, like, welcomes it. Like, when people ask me why I haven't had a tattoo, like, one of the reasons why I've never had a tattoo or a piercing, like, the main reason is I've never really seen anything. It's interesting because, like, every person I've ever dated had tattoos and piercings and stuff like that, except for Alex. Alex is the only, and he's the one I ended up marrying. Alex has no tattoos or piercings either. Never had his ears pierced or anything, and I didn't either. And it's not like, I think when I say that, people think like I'm against piercings or tattoos. I think they're sexy. I think tattoos are sexy. I love tattoos and piercings. I love them. I never had a tattoo. Like, I was actually talking to my brother-in-law, Fufu, about this, because he has a lot of tattoos. And I was like, I'm thinking about, like, maybe, like, Alex's mom just got her very first tattoo in Spain. I love it. And it's, like, to commemorate, like, her walk that she did over there. And she's like, yeah, I'm thinking about my other one that I'm going to get and all this kind of stuff. And, but Fufu was like, Peter, I know you. He's like, once you start getting a tattoo, he's like, you're just like me. Once you get one tattoo, you're going to want 50 of them. And I know that about myself. I think when I was like in my 20s, like when I would have started it, I think like I felt like every tattoo had to be really meaningful. I don't really feel that way today. Like, I'd go and get like a Tweety Bird and I could care less. Like, I mean, in all honesty, like, I don't know. Like, I was really into like the purity of my skin. And if I was going to get a tattoo, then it had to have some deep meaning behind it. Like, I don't really feel like that today. My friend in Denver, my good friend that I almost moved to Denver to be near, he has so many tattoos. Like, he has literally bubbles down one whole arm. His tattoos are so cool. I remember we were out one night, and somebody said to him, we were out, this is like before I met Alex, this was that summer I was going to Denver a lot, and so, he's real built too, and somebody said to him, like was kind of hitting on him, and said, I love your tattoos, and he said, thank you, and he was like, I would love to know the story about them, and my friend was like, okay, and he goes, I have the time, my friend goes, well, I don't. We were such bitches. Anyway, oh my God. I'm like, my mind is just reeling with stories from that summer that I spent out. I shouldn't tell this story, but it's like nobody's gonna be able to. I can't even. I've tried through the years to like see who this person was, but there was this guy that. He was so cute, this guy that I met this summer, that summer, and we kind of like, every time I would go out there, we would kind of like meet up, you know what I'm saying? Anyway, his name was Mike, but it was spelled with a Y, like M-Y-K, so my friend, like, every time, like, because I was going out there, I would go out there for like a week, then come home for like 2 weeks, and go out there for another week. I was like there a lot that summer. I loved Denver. And so I said to him, like, every time I would call him and talk to him on the phone, he'd be like, are you going to come back out here and see Mike with a Y? That's like we refer to this guy. I don't know what happened to Mike with a Y. It was real kind of weird. Like, I remember one time we went to his house, and he lived in, like, this neighborhood that was, like, very suburban, but, like, very kind of like this, but, like, built in the 80s. But, like, there was no cars in the driveway, and there was, like, it didn't look like anybody was home. And we went into this house. Like, I honest to God, like, at first, I think this was, like, the second time I went out there. And at first, when this is, like, I am so old, I don't give a shit about my stories anymore. You know, there was before I'd get on here and be like, I probably shouldn't tell this. Listen, it's my life. It's my story. I'm going to tell these stories. I remember we went in there, and he was like, my dog's a little aggressive. He's like, do you care? And I was like, no, I love dogs. He literally had this, like, pit bull Doberman Pinscher like mix. It was like this tall and looked like a pit bull in the face. I've never been scared of a dog, but I was kind of scared of this dog. And he was like in the kitchen when we walked in, and he was like, "Rrr." I was like, what the hell is going on? This house had no furniture. There was literally no furniture anywhere except for in the bedroom. Nowhere, anywhere except for in the bedroom. which didn't matter because the only place we sat was in the bedroom. Okay, that's it. But anyway, Mike with a Y, if you're out there, good times. Cheers to you. I hope you're doing good. God, that was 18, 20 years. No, that would be 19 years ago this summer. That is so crazy. Oh my God. Cheers to you, Mike with a Y, wherever you are. Anyway, what was I going to say about all that? Denver tattoos. Oh no, the tattoos. See, it works. Like if you go back and I'm wiggling my toes. I love tattoos and piercings. Like I was talking recently about how like if I ever got a piercing, I always want to get like a septum piercing. I think they're so hot. I never wanted to get my nipples pierced. We're just laying it all out, right? So I've seen a few Prince Alberts. How can I say this? I know I don't want to be offensive to people because I know there's a lot of people that watch my vlogs that don't want me to kind of like go balls to the wall with the stories. So I try to be like not graphic over here and keep it kind of family friendly, but I don't know if people care or people are like, we're all adults, we can handle it. I don't know. Prince Alberts don't look cute unless your dick is big. That's just the truth. Okay. Like I'm laying it out there. Okay. Like I've seen a few, some are cute and some are not. Like but I can't imagine the pain that goes along with that. Oh, that's what I was saying. I have a high threshold for pain, but like, I don't welcome it. Like getting blood taken and stuff like that never has bothered me. Shots that I have to get never bothered me. Dental work, I don't love it. Like, I mean, I'm like, but I can handle it. Do you know what I mean? Like, I can't think of a situation, like a medical situation that I chose to go into. It's one of the reasons why I probably would never get like, I mean, Alex at some point will probably get some procedures done. Like he talks about it. Like, I'm going to get a facelift and whatever. Like, I would never like electively pick to have cosmetic surgery. And it's not because I love the idea of aging authentically, but part two of that is I'm not going to go under the knife if I don't have to. That's just the truth, you know? That's just who I am. And I'm not a big risk taker either. Like when it comes to like life stuff, like I'm just not. Like bungee jumping, no, I'm good. Jumping out of a plane, no, I'm good. I don't need to do that stuff. My feet need to be on the ground. Like I'm just not a big risk taker. Does it scare the hell out of me to think about bungee jumping? Oh, hell yeah. Like that, like I see them do it on like Dragula and Amazing Race and stuff. I'm like, there's no way. Like Caroline really, really wanted to do Amazing Race. We actually really talked about it. I kind of joked about it on here, but we really talked about it. Because I was like, Caroline, you do realize like you're going to have to drive the entire way. Like I don't drive. She's like, yeah, that's totally fine. And I said, and I can't do a lot of the things. And she's like, what do you mean? Like, there's nothing that you couldn't do. And I said, yeah, medically, there's some things that I'm not approved to do. But I said, also, there are things I won't do. Like, I'm not afraid of heights, but I don't love them at the same time. Like, would I walk, like, some of the things they do, like, on Amazing Race, I just don't know. I'd just be like, I'm not doing it. Like, I don't know. Like, I'm not, like, that much of a risk taker. And I don't even enjoy the idea of thinking about it. You know what I mean? Like, Alex is definitely a risk taker. Like, Alex loves that kind of stuff. He's wanted to jump out of a plane forever. I actually thought about, for his birthday, getting him that, because he's wanted to do it forever. And I support that in other people. Like, if you want to do that, do that. I think you should live your life the way you want to live it. But I'm just not a big risk taker. I'm just, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know, and I think a lot of it, like, I really wasn't even, I know it sounds crazy, but, like, even before I got sober, I've been thinking a lot about my sobriety today, because I got reached out to by so many people that Tana Mojo celebrated 1 year sober, which I think is amazing. And so, people were, like, sending me her video, like, a lot of people sent it to me, and I thought I saw one of the dogs, but I think they're upstairs with Alex. So, that was the other part of the story. So that Alex went to H3 Tavern, because they were all sitting there having drinks and stuff. He shared a filet with his friend and had 2 Cokes, and then he came home. And he's, like, super tired. He's like, I think the cold is just wearing me out. I go, yeah. Oh, and he said before I came out here, because I was, like, all bundled up when he came in, getting ready to come out. I was kind of waiting for him to come home, because I was like, I wanted to say hi to him and stuff before I came out here. So I had taken the dogs out, got them settled and everything, and then he came home. They're being kind of crazy today. I have a feeling they're going to crash early, because they've been running around like nobody's business. And we did the Bark Box unboxing, which was really fun. But anyway, he was like, babe, I really think that you should vlog inside. I go, I know, everybody thinks that. I said, but I really enjoy sitting outside, no matter how cold it is. I will say, I don't know, like, for those of you that remember the vlogs very well, or for those of you that take notes and want to admit to it, you know who you are. But you won't admit to it over here, will you? But anyway, we know who we're talking to right now. It's not the people that love me. But anyway, do you remember it being this cold last year? I remember it being pretty mild. I remember Peter Brady. I remember it being kind of mild last January and February. Like, it's been cold. And we've had several, I mean, it's not tons of snow. Let me show you. It's not tons of snow, but like, I mean, you can see there's snow on the ground. I think it's pretty. Like, I like this much snow. But I definitely don't remember, like, even having regular snow last January or February, and definitely not being this cold. Somebody commented on my vlog, and they said something about being, like, in Minnesota, which I know Minnesota's cold. There's my neighbor on the other side coming home. She's got a white Jeep, like Alex's black Jeep. They have the exact same car, but she's got a white one, and he's got a black one. Anyway, and then her boyfriend has one, too. She has, like, 5 cars, and they're all of them fantastic. Anyway, she's so nice. I love her. They are so fascinated with her little dogs. They are so fascinated with them. What was I going to say? Wiggle your toes, Peter. What were you talking about? Coming outside. Oh, the cold. The what? See, it works. It does. I swear. Anyway, I don't remember it being this cold last year. Somebody from Minnesota said it's like negative 34 degrees there. I don't even know how you do it. Like, I got up this morning. So Alex left for work. I got up and I got the dogs and I took them outside. They are so sleepy. It's so cute. Because they're like, Otis especially. Otis sleeps like, so there's like a big, not a big bed, but it's like one's real small and one's bigger. And Otis, who's smaller, sleeps in the bigger bed in the house. I call it their bedroom now. But it's going to take some time for me to get adjusted to that. The smaller one, Walter gets in real tight. Well, when he can hear me coming down the stairs. Walter gets up. He's like standing at the gate of the house. I can hear him get up out of the bed when I come down there. Otis, like, until I open the door, stays in the little bed. And he gets up, he's, like, so tired. And I bring them outside. And, like, in the summer, I'll start taking them out back. So I don't have to, like, you know, whatever. But, like, Otis is so cute because I'm, like, putting the harness on. He's, like... I bring them outside, and it's like they are shocked to the system. It's so cold. So I brought them back up, and they went right to sleep. But this morning, I was like, it is so cold. I texted Alex. I was like, I did not realize it was that cold outside. I mean, it was cold, cold. Like, I never wore these hats, really, before this year. But this year, I have, like, this one. This is my favorite, the gray. Which, by the way, why did it take me 2 months? I put it on tonight. I always make sure the tag is right here, the white tag. And tonight I put it on and the tag was in the back. And I was like, oh, there's no tag in front. Like, I can put the tag in the back. And then it's just solid gray. Why did it take me 2 months to figure out something? That's how stupid I am, okay? But anyway, so... I'm talking about all different kinds of things. No, Alex was like, babe, I really think you should sit inside. It's too cold. I enjoy it. Like, this is nice and peaceful and relaxing for me at the end of the day. It is cold. But, like, I'm not, like, right now. The other night, I don't think I had the blanket. One night I vlogged, and I was like, it's really getting cold. Like, I have to go inside. Like, I don't feel like that at all right now. Now, I don't know how I'm going to feel in 20 or 30 minutes, but right now I feel like I could vlog for 2 hours. Like, I wouldn't say I feel warm, but, like, my hands aren't freezing cold. These gloves, by the way, from Express that Alex has, like, they are 10 times warmer than the North Face ones. What's the deal with that? I'm sure they are probably a third of the price, too. But anyway, I still haven't met my neighbors. They have all their boxes, like, on the front porch. And I saw her today when I was taking the dogs out. I saw her in the kitchen, but, like, she was, like, it had her back to me. I feel like I should go over there, but they're, like, in the middle of doing all this stuff. I don't want to interrupt them. If I haven't talked to them by Wednesday... Well, Caroline and I haven't confirmed for Wednesday yet. But she was texting me last night about... So she returned her purse that I got her for Christmas. And she ended up getting another purse, which is actually one of the choices that I had. And... Oh, she just came home and just let her dogs out. I was like, who is that barking? Do you hear them? They're so sweet. Anyway, they're real little. I think... Oh, Walter heard them. He just came over here. I told you they were real fascinated with them. Where's your dad, huh? What are you doing? He said, I hear those dogs next door, Dad. Their hearing is incredible. He's so sweet. I don't really play, like, toss and catch with them very much. People have said that I need to get them, like, balls to play with. So, before they even came to our house, I bought, like 3 or 4 little balls, like little tennis balls. I've never broken them out. I don't really know why. I have stuff like in a box that like I bought, and like the Halloween costumes are in there because the Halloween costumes are like way too small for them now. And the balls are in there and stuff like that. Well, today, I was sitting at the computer before Alex came home, and Walter went upstairs and he got this like crinkle Christmas toy. They love those cheap toys that I got at PetSmart that are like $2 each. They love those. So he came downstairs and he came over to me and he is like, it's so cute. Walter just has it like hanging out of his mouth most of the time, like all his toys. So then Otis came up to him and was trying to get it from him. So I took the Christmas tree toy. It's real cheap. And I like tossed it across the room. Well, Walter, like Otis didn't act like he knew what to do. Obviously, because they've never done this before. But Walter ran over to it. And I was like, come here, Walter, come here. And like real quick understood like how to play like fetch and catch. And loved it. And I did it for like 10 minutes while I was like with this thing. And then Otis kind of caught on a little bit. But he really loved it. So I've got to I'm going to get those balls tonight. Like I'm going to go down in the basement. They're in this like plastic bin in the basement. So I'm going to break those out tonight. Because I do think they'll like them. And they're a little bit bigger now. I think one of the reasons why I didn't at first is they're small. You guys know those little small tennis balls you can get at like pet stores. They're like yellow and blue, I think. They're small, but I didn't think they'd be able to like hold them in their mouths at first. But now they could. Now they could. So anyway, tattoos and piercings. Yeah, I love tattoos and piercings. When I was younger, I always felt like with tattoos, I felt like it had to mean something. I also can remember like somebody said something to me about like, at the time I was in my 20s, I was like working with somebody and she was like in her 50s and she said something about some tattoos she had and over time it faded. And I said something about, yeah, I'll probably get like an eagle flying over the sun and like in like 30 years it'll look like a old orange or something. And she's like, that's exactly what'll happen to it. And that kind of kept me from it. I wasn't like emotionally attached to any. I think if like I'd just gotten a tattoo, like on a dare, like, you know, for fun or whatever, I think I'd probably have more tattoos now. But I've never gotten one. Now I'm kind of like, I don't really care if I ever have one. It doesn't mean anything to me. I love them when I see them on other people. I think they're so hot. Especially when people have like a whole arm and stuff like that. I love that. I love like neck tattoos. I know. I told you I like bad boys. Neck tattoos are so hot, I think. Like I even like face tattoos. I know. I do kind of think face tattoos are kind of hot though. But anyway. So I never had a tattoo, never had a piercing, neither has Alex. Alex and his brothers were going to get tattoos a couple years ago, and I can remember thinking, like, I said something to him, because I was like, well, we could get a tattoo together, and they were going to get a tattoo, I can't remember what they were going to get, it was going to be like a V for Venezuela and like a P for Paredes, and it was going to be like mixed together. They had some design that Fufu came up with. I don't know. How did I get talking about tattoos and piercings? We'll go your toes. That's probably too far back for me to go. Alex came home. So then Alex came home. He had shared this filet with this gal. So he's not going to watch the football game or anything like that. Tattoos, piercings. I was talking about Tana Mojo's video. Yeah, I've been thinking a lot about my sobriety today. Because I watched that video. It's a really great video. I honestly, I did a whole reaction to it on my drama channel. Because people were reaching out to me. Why did I talk about the pain threshold? Oh, the dentist. Here, we'll get back to that. How am I remembering all this kind of stuff? My memory is fantastic today. Yeah, like, I'm not, like, afraid to go to the dentist. Like, it's not like I'm, like, trembling, like, I don't want to go. Like, you know what I mean? It's not nothing like that. Like, I'll go. It'll be whatever. I mean, I keep on saying in my mind, Peter, it'll be done in, like, an hour and a half, 2 hours. I'm just not excited about going. I don't really, to be honest with you, like, Tanya and I talk about this all the time. Because she's like, you need to get out more. And I'm like, but do I? Like, I'm not afraid to leave the house. Tanya's like afraid I'm getting like agoraphobic. I'm like, I'm not getting agoraphobic. I'll leave the house. I like to be around people. But it takes a certain thing for me to leave the house. Like an appointment, like a medical appointment, obviously I'll leave for that. But like, other than that, like social things, like it takes a lot for me to get out of the house. I just enjoy being at home. And no, I'm not becoming agoraphobic. I just like being at home. So anyway, yeah, I have a dental appointment tomorrow. And then we were supposed to have therapy tomorrow night, but we rescheduled it because I was like, it's too many Ubers for me to take in a day. So we rescheduled that last week. And then Wednesday, Caroline and I are having Cousin Fun Day. Unless she has meetings. She hasn't really said anything about it. Oh, she was texting me last night about her purse. Because she got a purse and a backpack at Von Mar. Because I bought her this purse. And she's like, do you care if I return it? I was like, no, girl, not at all. And then, so we returned it together, and then she got this purse and this backpack. She was telling me she loved it on her trip. Okay, let me just tell you, I don't know if I share this or not, but when I went to Von Mar originally to get it was Christmas Eve. I was so mad because she loves this brand that I initially found at Von Mar. It's called Roylyn, R-O-Y-L-Y-N or L-E-N, I don't know. But they make kind of like these vinyl purses and stuff. They're really cute. I got her a black one that was like a messenger bag. And then it has like a chain link, kind of like Chanel-ish looking chain on it. She doesn't use that. It also has like a canvas strap. And so Caroline wears it as a messenger bag. She loves it. Well, that was 2 years ago. Last year I bought her a gold one. So she could like, it was the same purse but gold. I like to buy her something nice because I bought her a couple things last year. I mean, she picks me up every week, right? Well, this year, I went to Saks on Christmas Eve because not Saks, Nordstrom. They said they had, the battery stopped. They didn't have any Royal in there. And the gal I felt bad for her. She was overwhelmed, but she just was not real helpful. So then we went to Von Maur. Von Maur had no Royal in bags. When Caroline and I went back, did I share this story? I don't know if I did. When Caroline and I went back, they had a whole section of them. And they were like summer Royland bags. They were so cute. Caroline got this one that almost, I don't know what the material would be called. Not wicker, but you know what I'm talking about? Like what baskets are made out of. It was like that on the outside. And then it had the vinyl kind of like, that was on top of the vinyl. And she's like, I want to get this for my cruise. And then she got this backpack that she had looked on for Line, which incidentally, Alex had picked out that backpack and said, I think Caroline would like it. I said, Caroline will never use a backpack. Then we go there and Caroline's like, I found this backpack online that I want if they have it here. I was like, oh my God, that's the backpack that Alex picked out for you. But they had a whole Royland section there and it was all on sale. I couldn't believe it. So she was so excited. So she was texting me about her purse and her backpack. She was like, I loved it for the trip and stuff last night. So we were talking about that. But she didn't say anything, so I'm assuming we're doing Wednesday. We scheduled it before she left. If we don't, then I'll just film videos and stuff. So that's Wednesday. Thursday, I have therapy individually. And then, I can't remember if Alex leaves Thursday or Friday. But anyway, do I have something else on Friday that I have to do? Why do I feel like there's something on Friday that I have to do? Oh, God, thank God I'm going through this. Wednesday, I have my hair appointment. And then Caroline will pick me up from my hair appointment. I talked about this yesterday. I got to talk to Caroline tomorrow because it won't really matter because I'm still going to take an Uber to the hair appointment and Caroline will pick me up from there. But if she can't do Wednesday, then I'll just take Uber home. It's just a lot for me. So tomorrow, I don't know what time I'll get home. It'll depend on how long my appointment goes. If the appointment goes like an hour to an hour and a half, then I'll probably film some videos. It's also going to have a lot to do with how I feel. If I get home and I'm just not in the mood, I'll probably just do a vlog. I'll probably wait and relax with the dogs and then just do a vlog. Alex is going to be gone this whole weekend, so I can film on the weekend too. I'll probably film Saturday and Sunday this weekend, so I don't know. We'll just see. My plan is to film some tomorrow because I've got to get caught up on 1,000 Pound Sisters, my reviews. So tonight I'm going to watch 1,000 Pound Sisters, take my notes, and I'll probably at least do that video tomorrow and a vlog. And then Wednesday when I get home from Caroline, depending on how late it is, but she would probably pick me up about noon if she picks me up. So I'll probably be home by like 2, so I'll still make videos then. And then Thursday I have therapy in the middle of the day. I think I have therapy this Thursday at 3. I have to text him. Because we usually do 2, and I think it's at 3 this week for some reason. I think it's at a different time. So I'm going to text him and see. But anyway, yeah, I watched a Tana Mojo video today. A lot of people sent it to me. A lot of people have sent me videos of hers or podcasts in the past couple years where she's gotten sober and they're like, Tana Mojo's sober and I want to know what you think about it. People send me videos a lot of people that have gotten sober, or they'll send me other people's sobriety videos and say what do you think about it? It's interesting. Okay. And I said this in my video today. I am not the gatekeeper on sobriety. I am just one person that is sober in this world, and it's just my perspective. I'm just one person. Even in a 12-step program, Tanya and I agree, I would say, on 80% of stuff, but there's even some things that Tanya and I don't, we don't disagree on it. Her experience is different than my experience, if that makes sense. From the ages we got sober, to her being a woman, me being a man, things like that. There's a lot of things that are just, our perspectives are different. It's not necessarily that we agree or disagree on it. I think philosophically in our belief systems about addiction and recovery, from the point of view of a 12-step program, are probably 100% very similar. So when people send me this kind of stuff, it's interesting because I can't get comfortable in this chair. I don't know where to put this. Okay. Actually, I made this. So this is Cafe Bustelo, by the way. I made this coffee when I was getting up my videos. And so I was going to make another cup of coffee, but there was half of it left. So now I'm down to the very bottom of it. So I've actually drank an entire cup of coffee in the last 2 hours. Anyway, I got a lot of DMs from people sending it to me and being I really would like to hear what your reaction is to Tana's video. So the video is Tana talking about celebrating 1 year sober. when I get these videos, and like, it isn't just Hannah's video that I get. People send me a lot of videos where they'll be like, this person has, I mean, this is something I get sent quite a bit, and I don't ever really talk about it. People will be like, have you seen this person? They have a channel where they talk about their sobriety, and I'll go check it out. And somebody will say, like, this person is sober on TikTok, and I'll go check it out. And they'll be like this, or this person's this, or this person's that. Like, what do you think about it? I think it's an interesting conversation. I think I am sober by way of a 12-step program. Everybody knows that. When I got sober, and I said this in my video today, a lot of what I'm saying is probably repetitive. There just weren't a lot of different ways people were suggesting to get sober. It wasn't like we didn't have maintenance programs. Suboxone wasn't around. I don't really remember Antabuse even being around. I'm sure it probably was, but I don't really remember it. People don't really use Antabuse today. I don't really hear anybody using Antabuse. I hear people in their stories will say that they at one point were on Antabuse, but I don't, my hands are starting to get a little cold. But I don't really remember, like Suboxone is like heavily talked about in Subutex and maintenance drugs and Vivitrol and things like that, the shot. I don't hear a lot of people, I've never heard a lot of people talk about, what's the drug that I was just talking about? The one that makes you sick if you drink. But I have heard stories of people saying that they were on it, and they would force themselves to drink through it, and some of them even ended up in emergency rooms and get so sick, and then they would go home and they would continue to drink. I've heard people share those same stories on Suboxone, and I knew somebody on Vivitrol that they would take the shot and then they would get sick and they would just continue to shoot dope, and that was the risk they were willing to take, you know, and they almost died from it and stuff like that. Anyway, I think if I got sober today, they probably would put me on maintenance drugs. It just wasn't something we talked about back then. I mean, I don't remember the doctor ever talking to me about it. Well, they weren't around. I mean, I was working in treatment when Suboxone came around. It was called buprenorphine. And I remember because I was one of the people that was trained to, like, be a counselor that talked to people about it. And I was, like, in the early stages of when Suboxone came around. And that was when, like, when it first came around, and I wasn't a doctor, so I wasn't prescribing it. I was working with doctors. And at that point, like, you had to come in and, like, have a weekly medical check with a doctor. And there were only, like, in the state of Indiana at the time it came out, there was, like, 2 or 3 doctors that could prescribe Suboxone. Now, like, GPs can prescribe, general practitioners can prescribe Suboxone. And they prescribe, like, overprescribe it. Back then, that wasn't the case. Like, you had to go see your doctor, like, once a week. You'd have random drug screens. You had to be part of an outpatient program. You had to actively be going to a 12-step program. And then they would give you, like, 2 weeks dose at a time. Maybe not even that. And if you, like, lost a pill or something, you were out of the program. Like, it was very, very strict when Suboxone first came around. Now, a lot of people, I know this because I hear a lot of people get sober and they share these stories, that, like, from, like, a Thursday through a Sunday, they'll, like, you know, eat opioids or they'll, like, shoot dope. And then, like, Monday through Friday, so they can, like, maintain, like, a job or whatever, they'll take, like, Suboxone, which is really dangerous when you're talking about, like, shifting back and forth. But from a maintenance point of view, like, I mean, that's not a maintenance program. That's not, like, that's what addicts on the street are doing. That's not a maintenance program. There's a lot of maintenance programs that are, you know, run by doctors and programs today. There's so many ways to get sober. People ask me all the time, like, what do you think about California sober? Do you think it would work for you? I don't know. I'm sober by way of a 12-step program. That's my experience. I'm not a representative of a 12-step program. You could probably find 100,000 people that their perspective and their opinion would differ than mine. That's why I always say I'm not a representative of a 12-step program. It's very important. That's really why I don't say what 12-step program I'm part of, even though I'm sure you can figure it out. I see a lot of people online say, you know, when I go to these meetings, I see a lot of people share that online. That's very discouraged. It's kind of the traditions. I can share my story, but that's really discouraged. Like, I'm sure I've slipped up from time to time and said it. I think sometimes people think I'm, like, not proud of it. No, it's out of protection for the program. Like, and I think it's really important that people understand, like if tomorrow I would go back out there and start using again. I don't want anybody to get the idea that that's because the program doesn't work. It has nothing to do with that. It has to do with that I wasn't working the program. And that's really vital for people to understand. That's why it's that I'm not a representative. So if somebody is out there and they're saying, I'm doing this and I'm doing that and I'm doing that, and then they go back out there and use, a lot of people are going to go, well, it didn't work because the program doesn't work, or a maintenance program doesn't work, or God doesn't work. Well, that's not the case. I don't believe that, you know? So anyway, I watched this video of Tana Mojo's today. I don't love to make reactions videos about people that are sober, because I don't know, to be honest with you, that my reaction really matters. That's really, truly how I feel. Like, I don't know. Oh, the battery just went to the halfway mark. I didn't bring another battery out here. I'll have to go get another one. I mean, like, if I was talking to my friend on the phone, like, let's say if Tanya watched the video and she's like, what did you think? Like, that would be a conversation I would have. But I don't know that my opinion matters in the grand scheme of things. And then I think all of a sudden it comes in, like I explained in there that I was sober for 30 years and that's why people ask me. But me being sober for 30 years doesn't make my sobriety any greater or less than or more powerful than Tana Mojo being sober for a year. No matter how she does it, no matter how I do it. We just have today. And I should have said that in the video. I didn't say that. But I think sometimes, like, me reacting, I try to be very, like, I was nervous making the video at the beginning of it. I think because, like, me reacting to a video like that all of a sudden comes in like I'm gatekeeping recovery. And it's never meant to be that way. People just ask my reaction to it because I am so loud and proud of my sobriety that people are like, okay, Peter's sober. Here now Tana's talking about being sober. Jaclyn Hill's talking about being sober. What do you think about it? It's hard to do that from the point of view of being a drama channel and being fair and objective to somebody that's in recovery, however they define that. And because a lot of people will be like, well, what do you think about somebody that, like, stopped using heroin and they smoke weed? I don't think it would work for me, but do I know people that it works for 100%? Absolutely. And my honest opinion is I'd rather have them smoking weed than shooting dope. That's just my honest opinion about it. You know, like, they got a better chance if that's what works for them. I don't, like, I can remember when I first started going back to meetings, and my sponsor at the time, who has since passed away, there were a lot of people in meetings that I was going to that were like in their first year of sobriety. When I got sober, 12-step programs were strict as shit. I mean, they just were. Like, you didn't even mention, like, even today in 12-step programs, like, if you're in a program that's specifically talking about alcohol, you wouldn't say, like, you wouldn't in the middle of a meeting, like, it's not respectful to say, well, when I was shooting dope or when I was snorting cocaine. You would say outside substances. That's just respectful. I don't always do that. People don't always do that, but that's just, you know, consider that. And other programs that are just drug related, they consider alcohol a drug as well. You know, so I think that's another thing that's misunderstood. So, like, if you're getting sober just for heroin, like, I'm not in Heroin Anonymous, so I can speak to people that I know in that. Like, they consider alcohol a drug in Heroin Anonymous. And Heroin Anonymous is huge today, and people love it. My sponsor and I were talking about, I'd love to go to some Heroin Anonymous meetings, because I heard that they have just, that was the weirdest thing. I just saw something float, look like a feather. I mean, they have incredible recovery in Heroin Anonymous meetings, HA meetings. And I don't know how much I often share this, but the program that I got sober in is not the program that I am in today. I was actually going to 3 programs when I got sober. And today, like, my sponsor early on said, you need to pick a program and stick with it. But the program that I actually got sober in, it's not even really around anymore in Indianapolis. It's around a lot on the West Coast and the East Coast, but in Indianapolis it's not really around anymore. I'm not part of that program, so I can say it was CA, Cocaine Anonymous, was the program that I got sober in. I would go to CA meetings, but they just don't really, I mean, there are a few here, but it's just not as heavy as it was back in the day. Actually, this guy that I went to treatment with, I talked about there was 3 of us that are still sober today. He's like a big, like, it starts a lot of meetings that are CA, but there's just not that many CA meetings. When I got sober, there were a lot of CA meetings back in the day. My home group at the time was called Hope in the Hood, and it doesn't exist anymore, so I can say that as well. But, I mean, it's been shut down for like 20 years. But that was my home group meeting when I first got sober. The Hope in the Hood. And I love that meeting. But anyway, it's weird doing reactions to that. I don't know what people want from me to say, you know? It was interesting watching her video because there was so much of her story that I related to. It was probably one of the most honest, not just, I think in the video I said for Tana, but I watch a lot of these recovery videos because people send them to me, and I think it's really, like I've said before, I could not have been sober for my first year and living my life online. I just couldn't do it. First of all, I was super shy, you guys. Like, I struggle with social anxiety and shyness. I don't know, I just feel like I'm talking to one person on the camera. But I was scared of my own shadow back then. There's just no way that I could have done it. I watched that video of Tana's, and I just was, like, so impressed. Like, she just was so comfortable. And it wasn't, like, a typical Tana Mojo video where she's, like, laughing. I mean, it's part of it was. And I think, like, when you're sober for a while, even a year, you can look back at some of those stories and be like, damn, I was a mess. And it does seem funny, but you also lived through it. It wouldn't be funny if you hadn't, but if you lived through it. I mean, we joke a lot about, and God, Tanya and I joke a lot about things that the day after was scary as shit. But 30 years later, I mean, it's ridiculous that I put myself in those situations, you know? So I appreciate that about it. But it just seemed like a really honest video. I don't know, it just got me thinking a lot about early sobriety today. And then I started thinking about, like, I mean, it's weird when people ask me, as a person that's been sober for 30 years, what I think about a person that's been sober a year. I don't know, like, when I was sober a year, I couldn't relate to anybody that was sober 30 years. It didn't make sense to me. I thought they were liars, bullshit artists. I just didn't think... I just was like, there's no way. Like, I don't buy it. Like, I think they're a liar. I think they're smoking weed. First of all, my plan when I got sober was not to not use anything. My plan was to stop drinking, stop using cocaine and pills, and I was going to smoke weed. I was eventually going to smoke. I love to smoke weed. I never suffered consequences for smoking weed. I smoked weed all day, every day. I loved it. And it was cheap. It was real cheap back then. And I dealt it, and I was not a good dealer because I smoked and used everything I ever dealt and then always owed people a lot of money. But anyway, that was my plan, you know? And then I think it just stuck that I was like, if you start smoking weed, you're going to go back to everything else. But I was thinking it's interesting, you know, like, in my life, like, February will be 4 years since the accident. I feel like every year, and 4 years is a long time, and I feel like I should feel some certain way about it. And honestly, I still have I mean, like, there's not a day that goes by that the accident doesn't go through my head in some way or another. Every single day. And just how it's changed my life. A lot in my prayers. I would say my prayers and meditations, I think a lot about it. And talk to my higher power about it. But I think because one thing I know in life is true is that the further you get away from an event, your perspective changes, what you remember changes. I don't ever want to forget that. In honoring the victims and honoring their families and honoring the incident. And how profound it was, and changing so many people, including mine's lives. I don't ever want to forget the impact, and so I try not to forget it. But I also, it's a fine line between living in it every day, like I was early on. I don't know. I feel like, have you ever forced yourself to, like, you feel like you should feel a certain way and you don't know how to feel? Like, I almost kind of feel like that. It's coming up on 4 years, and I'm like, I feel like I should feel some way about it. But to be honest with you, I've done so much work. I mean, I've done a trauma narrative on it. I've done, you know, amends lists, and I've done, oh my God, and just forgiving myself and all this work on it. I mean, literally, my first year of working on it was just even talking about it. I almost couldn't even talk about it. I think, like, one of the things that's so hard for me, and has been so hard to wrap my head around, is... And I haven't come up with a good analogy for it. I don't remember it. Like, I don't remember anything until 5 days afterwards, okay? And I woke up, and to be honest with you, like, even this conversation that I had with Alex in the hospital, I vaguely remember that. Where I looked at him, I can remember kind of coming awake, and he was standing over me. I didn't really remember. I mean, there were pieces that I kind of, like, I put it together quickly that I was in the hospital. I didn't remember anything about the accident. I didn't remember before it. I could, like, later, when I would look back on it, I could remember, like, the half an hour before it. But, like, the moments around it, I didn't remember anything to do with that. And afterwards, I just didn't remember anything. I mean, you know, Tanya was, like, the first one at the hospital. And to hear her, like, I mean, I said something the other day, and she was like, I was talking to her, like, Alex will say, like, in therapy sometimes, like, like what he went through, because he saw it all and Tanya saw it all, is like Tanya sometimes can't even talk about it. And she's like, I saw my best friend like die twice on the table and they had to bring me back. Like, I don't remember that. Like, I don't remember that at all, you know? And, I don't know. It's like, it's really hard to feel feelings about something you don't remember at all. Like, imagine waking up tomorrow morning and somebody said, this happened to you, and you went through this situation and somebody died, and you feel guilty for it because you were the one that basically caused the whole situation, but you don't have any recollection of it at all. And I've told people this before too, like, just as comparing it as to a person in sobriety, like I've heard people share stories before, similar situations where they were drinking and driving. Like, I almost kind of could make more sense out of it, but a medical breakthrough is like so hard to wrap my head around. You know what I mean? Because it's like, I was doing everything I was supposed to be doing. I had seen the doctor. I had just gotten checked out. I had just had all my tests done. Everything was fine. And it's like, what do you do with that? So coming up on 4 years is so bizarre. And then I was thinking today, it's like, you know, Tana made this 1 year video, and I'm thinking about coming up on 4 years of the accident, and Tanya's coming up on 30 years sober, you know, which is amazing. We don't borrow time in recovery, but February is her birthday. And I'm like, isn't it interesting how I look at my life always like in these pivotal points? Like, my mom's been dead a certain amount of time. You know, I'm certain years old, been gone from high school this many years, been sober this many years, accidents this many years. And why I do that, and I don't think I'm the only one, and I always feel like maybe I should feel a certain way when these dates come up. And I don't know, my therapist always just suggests to me, you should just feel what you feel. Like, don't ever feel like you need to force feelings or not force feelings. I don't know, like, I don't know that I've ever really shared that about the accident. One of the hardest things to feel through this or process through this is that, the conversation I had with Alex, and they had already talked to like caseworkers and stuff, but I was like, I guess I was in the hospital and I was like demanding that he tell me, and I was like yelling if somebody was hurt or not. And he said, yeah, somebody passed away. And that was how I found out. That was 5 days unconscious in the hospital. And like I said, it's like if you woke up tomorrow and somebody said you were in a car accident yesterday and somebody died, you don't even remember being in the car. You don't even remember any of it. It's really hard to wrap your head around. You know, if somebody said to you, last night you went out and you got drunk and you got in a car and you did this, but not because, like, it's hard to make sense of it, you know? And I think, like, I've tried to find comparisons to it through the years, and I can't. And I don't even really have anybody that I've ever talked to that's had very similar situations. You know, I think, like, that would be helpful to me, like, if I had somebody out there that had a very similar situation, you know? Like, I don't know. Not that anybody owes that to me. I just, ever since then, I've always just wanted to do what was right and make the right choices and be honorable. I think also, like, even though I'm not a big believer that, like, everything happens for a reason, like, I feel like this is, like, a hard thing. Like, even when things don't happen for a reason in my life, I can take something from things that have happened in my life and learn something from it. And this is something that's, yes, I've learned a lot from this situation. I've learned the fragility of life, the power of a day, the importance of simple moments, the importance of, I've learned so many things. But I almost don't feel like it's fair that I learned those lessons at the expense of somebody passing away. I just don't, you know, like, and so I don't really talk about that piece of it. Like, those are things I talk about with my therapist and my sponsor, Alex and Tanya, but I don't really feel like this feels very vulnerable for me to talk about this online. I don't like talking about it. And I've always, like I've said, tried to be very respectful of his family and the victims, and not causing more pain. Because I can't imagine ever what they've gone through, you know? And I don't know. So it's weird that it's like 4 years. Like 4 years feels like a long time. That it's been, it's been 4 years. And next month it'll be 4 years. It feels like a really, the saying it's been 4 years feels like a long time. But sometimes it doesn't feel like I moved through it. And I don't know, like I've done so much work on it. Like I keep on looking out there at the driveway. I don't know why, but like, I think it's interesting because a lot of people focus on the driving. The driving is so, like, such a little part of it. Like, it really is. Like, me giving up driving and not driving anymore. That just seemed like such an easy choice. It really did. I don't miss it. I don't really think about it that much. I really don't. I really don't, you know? Like, I don't know. My life just changed. I don't drive anymore, and people take me places, and I get Ubers, and it's fine, you know? And I'm somebody that likes to be at home anyway, so it's not like, I don't know. It's weird. I think it's the things that I don't talk a lot about on here and how it's affected me the most. And like I said at the end of the year, I was like, if it comes up in a conversation, I'm going to talk about it. Like, it's my story too. You know, one of the things that was really, really hard for me to get around, and his mom basically reiterated this, but my therapist was the first person that said it to me, because I really was like, I constantly said this, like, this thing that I did to him, and my therapist said early on, like, it's not a thing you did to him, it's something that happened to the both of you. And I really had a hard time getting behind that. I mean, I'm telling you, it was like 2 years before I could get behind that statement and kind of start to kind of believe it. And his mom said the same thing to me, basically, on the phone. Like, she said, it doesn't make, because I said senseless, and she said, no, none of it makes any sense. And she's like, in a lot of things, something like that. She said, I can't remember. But she was like, you have to quit punishing yourself. Like, this is something that happened to both of you. That's hard, you know? Like, okay, but he's not here and I am. And I think that's like, I don't know. Like, I've heard a lot. Like, it's weird for me, like, when I hear other people tell stories where similar situations have happened, and at some point they kind of can let that go. Like, I haven't been able to let that piece go. Like, why me? Like, I don't know, you know, and like I've talked to my dad about it. My dad will be like, you know, Pete, like, there's just a lot in the world that doesn't make sense. It doesn't mean like you were divinely chosen to be here and he wasn't. That's not it. That's not how life works, Peter. He was like, you know, and when you start questioning those things and you go down that road, he was like, that's a dangerous road to go down. I can't go down that road, and I don't, you know? I think today, I just hope that the things I've learned from it that have helped me grow have allowed me to be a better version of myself, a better person in this world, so that it didn't just happen for no reason. I would never want that, you know? Like, I wish it had never happened. I wish I had never left the house that morning. But yeah, it's going to be 4 years. And it's weird, like, I measure things in time, you know? Like, I measure, you know, how long my mom's been gone, and Alex and I shared our calendars, and he had, like, my Aunt Kathy's, like, the day that she passed away, which I think was this week. I think it was Saturday, maybe. I don't know, it's weird when you think about things in, like, times like that. You know, I think about, like, the dogs passing away, you know, that, like, December, last week, you know, Christmas week of December was 6 years since PP has passed away. It feels like forever, you know? It's like been a year since Boo Radley's passed away. I don't know, and I guess I don't want to live like that for the rest of my life. I don't want to live the rest of my life with baselines of time where I'm constantly referring back to things. You know, and I think it's natural, like sobriety-wise or birthday-wise, but the rest of it, I don't want to do that, you know? Anyway, if you haven't watched Tina's video and you're interested in sobriety at all, I would recommend it. I think it's great. She does talk in there about, because I think people are wanting to see what I say about her, like, not being in meetings and whatever. I have a lot of people that I know that don't go to meetings and they are sober. Like, it's not for everybody. Like, I don't know. Like, You know, if I ever say, like, 12-step sober, like, I think people take that the wrong way. I don't know. It's just, like, it's the way that I define it. Like, it doesn't mean that I judge it or pass judgment. I know a lot of people that don't go to meetings and they're sober, and they never have, and they don't like them, and it's not for them, and, hey, what works for them? I just want people to live great lives today and stay alive, you know? Like, whatever works for that person works for them. So, anyway, but she does get in there, and she talks about treatment, and she does talk about she talks about passages in there, which actually I've known quite a few people who have gone to passages. She talks about passages, and she talks about 12-step meetings, and she actually says a lot. It's interesting, like, when I got sober, there was, like, treatment language, and there was, like, 12-step language, and there was kind of, like, no in between, you know, and there was, like, religious language. Now it's, like, California sober language, treatment language, you know, like woke sober language. There's like all these different words that people use. And like she talks a lot in there about like 75 hard and like dry January. I mean, those were things that people didn't talk about when I first got sober, you know, like, I don't know that those weren't like, oh, the battery is flashing at me. Those were things that, and I think the battery's going to stop here in a second too. I'm going to go inside and get another battery. Okay, I'm back. That cut me off right at the end, and I was like, the battery is flashing red, or the battery ended at the 30-minute mark, and it was flashing red at me anyway. I was like, I'm just going to end this and get another battery. So anyway, I walked inside, and I was like, hello, and Alex was like, hello, and then I heard these like little feet jump off the bed, and I was like, are they being good? He's like, yeah, they're sleeping right next to me until that you came in. I said, okay, I'm going to get another battery, and then I'll finish this vlog, and then I'll be inside. He said, okay. I don't know, like, those terms weren't used, like, if they were, I don't remember them. Like dry January. I don't remember people talking about dry January. And 75 hard. Isn't that the thing where you like work out, eat clean, drink a lot of water, and don't drink or do drugs for 75 days? I don't really, to be honest with you, know what 75 hard is. Oh, by the way, I just want to slip this in here really quick. I had mentioned the other day that I should just tell this story. Okay, now I'll get back to the Tana Mojo thing. So there's this guy that's made videos about me. I actually really love his video style. He has kind of films about whatever he wants to, and he talks to a lot of influencers like in his videos. Okay, and his name's Serberus. I think I'm pronouncing it right. I don't know. But I said the other day in a video that I had seen, like I didn't respond to his comments because I didn't know how to pronounce his name, and I was like looking for the video. Well, he didn't respond to that. And I was like, I hope he saw that I said that in the video. He usually watches a lot of my videos. And so I happened to just like check out his channel last night. He made an entire video for me yesterday called Dear Peter. So go check it out. I will link his video, or his channel in the comment section below. He's so nice. And okay, so here's the story, okay? This is who I thought it was. Alex and I were in Mexico, and we like took this boat trip. This was like years ago. And we took this boat trip, and there was like this mom and her son on the boat. And I don't know how old he would have been, like 22 or 23. And they were having so much fun together. And I was sitting next to them. I can't remember who. Alex was talking to somebody else that we were on the boat trip with. And so anyway, I was talking to the mom, and we were talking about like where we were staying and stuff. And her son was like asking me questions. He's like, you look familiar to me. And I was like, I do? And he was like, yeah. He was like, and I never, like, I'm not like somebody, like if somebody says I look familiar, I'm not like, well, you probably know me from YouTube because I'm so famous, because I'm not, right? Anyway, somehow we started talking about it. And he was like, oh my God. He was like, I think I've seen some of your videos on Church of Paytas, okay? But then this was what was weird about it, was that I remembered talking to him about specific people that he asked me about, like if I had ever covered them before. So, I don't know if it was like 2 years ago or something. Serberus, one of your videos popped up and said, like, somebody sent it to me and said, did you see this person made this video about you? And it came up, and it was like, I think it was a year ago, and it said Dear Peter Monn, because you made another one called Dear Peter Monn, like exactly a year apart yesterday. Thank you. I watched the whole video. It was very sweet. Thank you. It was funny because underneath there, somebody commented and said, I know you. And he commented back and said, no, you don't. And the guy said, you smell like lavender and something or whatever. And Serberus responded, creepy. Welcome to the world of the internet, Serberus. And I love that you called him out for it. But anyway, so when I started watching his videos like a year ago, I was like, this is the guy that I met with his mom on this boat. Because he's talking about, like, I always mispronounce this guy's name. Markiplier, the gamer guy that's on, like, okay, the big, you know, the dark hair, looks like Keanu Reeves, kind of. That whoever I met that day on that boat talked to me about how much, like, he had watched him through the years and gaming videos and stuff. Serberus has made videos about, even last night's video talked about it. So I was like, This has to be him. This has to be him. Well, he's like, we've never met in public. Like, trust me, I would remember if we have. So I don't know, but you've got a twin out there. But thank you for your videos. Your videos are very, very sweet. I don't comment a lot on videos. Every once in a while I do. I don't want you to feel bad if I don't comment on videos, but that was really, really sweet. So I will link Serberus's channel. I know I'm just butchering your name. I apologize. What I love about his videos, I've actually watched more than you think I have, okay? Because I was like, what is going on here at the beginning? Because he made me like this Dear Peter Monn video. It's literally just in a can. It's very like this, but like 9 minutes. I'm just kind of sitting and thinking like, well, I could do YouTube. I know other people do YouTube. I could do YouTube. Yeah, I could do this. And I could just talk about whoever I wanted to talk about. Okay, I'll see you guys tomorrow. And then the next one's called like 2 a.m. Thoughts. And he's like, it's 2 a.m. and I just thought I'd make a video. I'm thinking about Mickey Mouse a lot lately. I kind of live for it. But like at first I didn't really understand it. I have subscribed to your channel, just so you know. Like a year ago, I subscribed to your channel. It doesn't take a lot for me to subscribe to your channel, but if you're going to make a positive video about me, of course I'm going to subscribe to your channel. But anyway, I love the videos. I honest to God, like when I started watching it, I was like, this is going to be, I would not be surprised if I didn't come back to this video and this video, like some of these videos, not my video that he did for me, but like some of these videos had like 1 million views on them. Because there's just something about it that's like so unique and different. Like almost kind of like you'll watch it and be like, I don't get this. Like this is either genius or just completely authentic and raw. Like you don't get it. But anyway, thank you so much, Serberus, for the video. It was really sweet. And you did hear the comment that I said in the video. So I will link Serberus's channel below if you guys want to go check it out. Okay, what was I talking about? Sobriety. I was talking about something, the language that they use. Like, you know, today it's like, there's a lot of language that like, that 75 hard and stuff like that, we didn't talk about those challenges and stuff when we got sober. It was like 90 meetings in 90 days. Like, it was like you go to a 12-step meeting. That was like the only, if you got sober in my era or you went to treatment or whatever, like that was the only thing they were talking about. They weren't even really talking about go to church. They were talking about, or counseling. They were like, you need to be in an outpatient program. You need to go to 90 meetings in 90 days. Every court, every probation officer, you had to go to meetings. I mean, that was just kind of what was recommended. There weren't really a whole lot of other options. Today, there's all kinds of things, you know? I don't know what works for other people. Oh, this is what I was going to say earlier. When I started going back to meetings after I came back to meetings, there are a lot of people that were on the marijuana maintenance program, which is where you don't drink or use other drugs, but you smoke pot. I had a real issue with it. And I can remember talking to my sponsor at the time, who was just so fucking laid back. And I was like, I can't believe these people are smoking pot, but they say they're sober and all this kind of stuff. I will tell you, in a 12-step program, sobriety is defined as total abstinence. Okay? But my sponsor, who had 40 years sober or whatever at the time, I'm saying this to him and he's like, why do you care? I learned so much from this man. And I'm like, what do you mean? Because he's sitting in meetings and he's saying he's sober. He's like, it doesn't affect you. Why do you care? I'm totally there today. I was not there then. I think my opinion and maybe how I came across when I first started talking about sobriety on YouTube has changed over the years. What works for somebody else does not work for me. I would not be somebody that could smoke pot and be sober. It would lead back to other things. I also think if I'm leaning that much on smoke, this is just for me. If I'm leaning that much on smoking pot, smoking weed, I'm not the kind of person that could just smoke a little bit and go to bed. I would be smoking it all day, every day. If I was doing that, like any other substance, I'd be like, why am I leaning so heavily on this? Like, what is going on in me that I'm not fixing? Like, Tana even talked in her video about, like, an internal hole that she had to fill with other things like shopping, gambling, eating. Oh, do you think I don't relate to that? 100%. And so, but that's where therapeutically, I think it's important for me to work on things, whether in a 12-step program, through the steps, with a sponsor, with my therapist, you know, whatever. That's what we call outside help. So I don't know. It's like, it's weird when people ask me to like react to these videos because it's like, I'm just one person's perspective. Like I could watch somebody that like worked a very similar program to mine in a 12-step program and probably I'd be like, have different takes on it. You know what I mean? I don't know, but it just got me thinking a lot today. And, I was proud of her. Like, it was weird, like, having covered her, like, 9 years ago to now, almost 10 years. I was like, it almost kind of felt like an older brother moment. Like, I know that sounds so cheesy. I don't know her, and I've never talked to her. I've never met her. But, like, I was kind of, like, having covered her, I was like, I am so proud of this Tana. Like, she's really proud of herself. It's cool. It reminded me a lot of, like, one of the biggest honors and privileges in recovery is seeing somebody on day one get sober, and then like a year down the road, 5 years. I mean, I've been sober, long enough now that I've seen a lot of people come in, tons. I have friends of mine that are 20 years sober now, which seems like a lifetime, right? And I remember them coming into meetings, and that's a powerful thing to be able to see that and see people change over time. It's really a cool thing. Okay, let's get to TV shows and movies real quick. I wanted to have a deeper talk today, but I didn't really know how I was going to start. Little did I know it was going to start from Tana Mojo. So thank you, Tana Mojo, for this video today. Because I kind of miss having a deeper conversations, especially if I'm going to sit out here in the cold. And it's so peaceful and calm. Really reminds me of the year that I got sober. Because it was like, well, there was a lot more snow than this. But it was very bitter cold. Like, you didn't want to go outside. And I can just remember, like, after I got in treatment, being there, and it was just so cold, and like going outside and just like smoking a cigarette and being like, oh shit, it's cold, like standing there and talking to other people, smoking a cigarette. It's snowing like crazy. There was such a peace and a serenity to drinking a cup of decaf coffee, because they had no caffeine in the hospital except for the detox unit. Drinking a cup of decaf coffee in a styrofoam cup, smoking a cigarette like out in the cold, like while it's like snowing down, I know that probably sounds like trashy, but it was very peaceful. It really was. And I can remember going inside, putting my pajamas on, and getting to bed and reading a Michael Crichton book, and all of us guys sitting there in the lounge, drinking little juice boxes and eating chocolate chip cookies before we had to go to bed, and we all be sitting there with the lights off watching some TV show, like 15 of us, in the couches in there, these uncomfortable wood-ass couches. There was just, I don't know, I felt so safe there. Maybe that's what I'm feeling right now, is safe. I feel safe. No, Tana's video reminded me of that today. It reminded me of the early days. I really enjoyed watching it. But okay, movies and TV shows. So last night, Sister Wives, I was wrong. I have read so many places online that it was 4 hours. They condensed it down to 2 episodes. I guess it was wrong. Everybody kept on saying, Peter, it's 4 episodes. Well, not everybody, but a couple people were like, it's 4 episodes. I was like, it's not 4 episodes. I was so ready today to get on my video and be like, when I started watching it last night, okay, for all of you people out there that said it was 4 episodes, it's actually 2. It's 4 episodes. I was wrong. I was completely wrong. But I'm actually kind of glad about it, because then that gives me 2 more videos to make. Well, we don't know if it's 4 episodes. It might be 3. Next week it might end. We don't know. But last night's episode was really good. It was actually a really hard episode to take notes on. So that was that. And then after that, I watched that. Oh, Alex and I, yesterday, we watched Beverly Hills. Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, we got caught up on that. And then we watch What Happens Live with Dorit Kemsley. And who was the other guy that was on? Oh, Brad Gorski, Rachel Zoe's old assistant. I like him. He was on RuPaul's Drag Race Canada. Wasn't it? Canada for a while? I like him. I don't think he's on there anymore. I haven't watched a new season of it. I need to start that. So then after that, I was like, oh, well, I got up kind of late from my nap last night. Oh my God, I've been napping so hard. So comfy. So I got up, and I don't really remember why I got started. Oh, it took me forever to watch Sister Wives last night because of the notes. The dogs were running around a little bit and stuff like that. So after that, I was like, do I want to watch an hour and a half of, what was that show called? Vera, which I really do. Or do I want to watch the show that I was watching, which is The Last Frontier. Somebody commented on my video and they said it got canceled after season 1. It did get officially canceled after season 1. Somebody also said it ends concisely. Thank you for letting me know that. Apparently, I think it's really good, but apparently, like, people got kind of bored with it for the end. I'm on the 5th episode. I kind of can understand why people got bored of it. It kind of is, like, some of it's good, and then it gets kind of slow. I don't know. Like, I like it. It takes place in Alaska in the winter, so it's, like, perfect to watch right now. It's just kind of slowing down a little bit. I don't know. Tonight I might pause it and watch an episode of Vera tonight. And I also want to watch 1,000 Pound Sisters. And I also have to finish last week's. I have 20 minutes left. I'll probably watch this while I eat tonight. Oh, did I tell you I finished Unlocked Season 2? I think I already talked about that this weekend. Where am I at on time? I'll probably finish last week's episode, Below Deck Mediterranean. I have like 20 minutes of it left. So I'll probably finish that tonight as well. And then read, of course. I actually downloaded 2 new books on my Kindle. They're cozy mysteries. One of them is about a woman, and she's like in her 60s. It's a series. I can't remember what it's called. Feather and Something is the first one. But like her mom's died and she's moved into her mom's house. This was basically my idea for my cozy mystery story. There's not really an original cozy mystery. But anyway, she moves back to Savannah. And it's like her and her two best friends from high school, and they're all in their 60s, and they solve like mysteries. So I started that. I like that one. I don't know what it's called. And then this is not really a cozy mystery, but it's like the X-Files meets Golden Girls or something. I can't remember. Anyway, or X-Files meets something. And it's about this detective agency in the swamps of Florida that go and solve these mysteries. So Nikki and I were talking about it. I can't remember what the first book is called. Moth something. She downloaded the first one. She loves it. It's real funny. It's kind of like a cozy mystery, paranormal, not paranormal, but like X-Files kind of thing. And she said it's real funny though. So I downloaded that one too, but I haven't started. I've been reading Monument 14. I've been trying to get through that one. I like it. It's good. It's kind of sad. They had this like ceremony for all the people that died in the middle of the green. It's called the Greenway, but it's like a Walmart. So anyway, and tonight I don't know what I'm going to watch. I'm going to take a walk, but it's so cold. It's going to be a real short walk. I just want to walk through the neighborhood while the vlog is like uploading and stuff. The vlog has been taking a long time to upload, so I don't know what time it'll get up tonight. And this is longer than usual, so we'll see. But I'm just going to walk through the neighborhood and listen to my audiobook a little bit. It's too cold to like take an hour walk tonight. And I don't think it's supposed to warm up for the next week or two, so I know I need to break out the walking pad and just start walking down there. Part of it is also that, well, I was going to start the weights this month too. We'll have to do February for the weights. I've got all this stuff out. I also bought this stair stepper thing that you can just like do while you watch TV. I haven't even taken it out of the box yet. There was something else I bought. I bought like 3 things of equipment. They're all like down in the basement for like me to set up the gym. I just love my walks. I love my walks. Even when it's cold, I love my walks. But it is really, really cold to walk out there. So anyway, all right, I'm going to get off here. And I'm going to go inside and get this uploaded. I also have to post my last video, which I think is my review video. Can you believe I filmed videos on all my channels today? I didn't even take, I mean, it took me a long time, but not as long as you'd think. Like, I don't know what time. I started earlier than I usually do, but yeah. All right, I'm going to get off here now. I hope you guys are having a magically amazing Monday and a fantastic beginning to your week. We're going to have a great week this week. I love you guys so much. And if nobody else has told you this today, I love you guys. And take these off so I can turn the camera off. I will see you tomorrow. Bye. Don't be lazy. Lazy. I love you. Bye. Love ya.